Addod Solutions. Add-on desired.
Hello viewers, welcome to Addod Solutions Daily Current Affairs. I'm Lokesh Pengonda. This session is designed for aspirants who are preparing for banking, groups and such other competitive examinations. We cover news articles from both the Hindu and the Indian Express. Make use of this session. First, we have an article dealing with the hike in the MSP prices for various commodities. So we'll see what is this MSP that has been hiked by the Union government. MSP stands for Minimum Support Price. Minimum Support Price. So this is the minimum price the Union government will pay when it is purchasing some commodity from the farmers. That means if the Union government state that it will pay 42 rupees for 1 kg of rice, then even though the rice price in the market is less than 42 rupees, it will still buy this rice at 42 rupees per kilo. So let's assume that in the open market, the traders are buying 1 kg of rice at just 25 rupees. They might say that there is huge production this year and we got more than the amount of rice we would require. So we will be paying only 25 rupees for 1 kg of rice. If the farmer have to sell his produce at just 25 rupees, then he might not get enough money for the work he has done. So what the government will do is, the government, if it has the MSP price mentioned for that particular commodity, it will buy that commodity at the mentioned price. That means if for the year 2021 and 2022, the MSP for rice is 42 rupees for 1 kilo. Even though the traders are buying at 25 rupees per kilo, the Union government through its agencies will definitely buy rice at 42 rupees per kilo. So why is the Union government buying a commodity at a higher price even though there is the same commodity available in the local market at lower prices? First is, it will help farmers to get 1.5 times the returns he has invested. So if the farmer wants to cultivate his land to produce some rice, he might have to invest 100 rupees. Let's assume that for 1 acre of rice production he has invested 100 rupees. So if the farmer is not even getting this 100 rupees back, he will not farm again, he will go into debt, he will not have enough money to farm again. So for all these reasons, he might not go into farming again. So to help the farmers recover his costs and to help the farmers get more amount of money compared to the money that he has invested, the government is bringing up this minimum support price, and the government states that it is providing 1.5 times the amount that is invested. So if you assume that 100 rupees is the amount that is invested, the farmer would get 150 rupees. That is the idea behind the minimum support price. You should know that for the first time ever, MSP was announced in the year 1966. As we are dealing with the minimum support price, you should know who is the final authority that will declare these prices. The Union government is the final authority that will declare the prices, whereas the Union government does not take a decision on its own. Rather, it will have to take a decision on the basis of recommendations on a commission called as the Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices. So we have a commission called as Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices. This commission will provide various recommendations on the prices of various commodities, and on the basis of these recommendations, the Union government will take a report. Does the Union government provide minimum support price to all the commodities? The answer is no. The Union government announces minimum support price only for 23 commodities. Only for 23 commodities. But you should note that the union government, though it is stating it will procure 23 commodities at the mentioned rate, it generally procures only 2 to 3 commodities at high value, that is at high quantities. So we have the rice, we have the wheat, which are being produced in high quantities by the union government through its subsidiaries, whereas we have many other commodities which are mentioned in this 23 MSP category list, but they are not bought by the subsidiaries, that is of union government subsidiaries, in high quantities. So this is with respect to the MSP price, and in the article we can see that there is only a small increase in the minimum support price for paddy and wheat, and that's why farmers are not happy with this decision of the union government. Next we have an article dealing with the project launched by the Haryana State Legal Services Authority. The Haryana State Legal Services Authority. Due to the coronavirus, many children have lost their parents and they have become orphans, and to help these children, the Haryana State Legal Services Authority has come up with a project titled Hope Sangharsh se Utkarsh tak, Sangharsh se Utkarsh tak, Utkarsh tak हम आपके साथ हैं, हम आपके साथ हैं. So this is a project launched by the Haryana State Legal Services Authority. The objective is to help the children who has become orphans due to the coronavirus. Next we have an article which is dealing with a newly appointed election commissioner. So Mr. Anup Chandra Pandey has been appointed as a new election commissioner of India by the president. So it is the president of the country who will appoint the chief election commissioner and the other election commissioners. So from this we can understand that there is more than one election commissioner to the India. Article 324 allows the president to appoint more than one person to this body. So we currently have a 3-membered election commission. That means we have one chief election commissioner and we have 2 election commissioners. As there is vacancy for the election commissioner in India, the president has appointed Mr. Anup Chandra Pandey. As we are dealing with Mr. Anup Chandra Pandey, we will see something about him. Mr. Anup Chandra Pandey, who is an ex-chief secretary of Uttar Pradesh, has written a book titled Governance in Ancient India. Governance in Ancient India. You should know the tenure of these election commissioners and the chief election commissioners. The tenure of the election commissioner and the chief election commissioner is 6 years or 65 years, whichever comes earlier. That means if a 50-year-old is appointed as an election commissioner, then he will have to retire at 56 years. If a 62-year-old person has been appointed to this post, he has to retire at 65 years. That means either 6 years or 65 years, whichever comes first. Next we have an article talking about the Pakke Tiger Reserve. We have the Pakke Tiger Reserve in the northeastern state of India, that is the Arunachal Pradesh. So we have the Pakke Reserve in the Arunachal Pradesh, and workers who have been employed as contingency workers, they have gone on a strike due to non-payment of wages. So what you need to remember is that Pakke Tiger Reserve is in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Next we have an article dealing with the delivery apps. We have some important delivery apps in the country such as the Zomato, such as the Swiggy, and the restaurant owners have been alleging that these delivery apps are charging huge percentage as commission. Huge percentage as commission, and they are providing huge discounts to the customers, and they are stating that due to collection of huge commission and due to providing discounts to the customers, we, that is the restaurant owners, are losing significant amount of money to the delivery apps, and that's why they're planning to bring in their own delivery applications. So we have the National Restaurant Association of India, and these Restaurant Association of India is planning to bring in their own delivery app so that they would not charge significant commission from the restaurant owners. And you should also know about a delivery application which is brought by the Kerala Hotel and Restaurant Association. So we have an association in Kerala called as the Kerala Hotels and Restaurant Association, and they have recently come out with their own delivery application which is named as Rejoy. So you need to understand that Rejoy is a Kerala Hotel and Restaurant Association owned delivery app. Next we have an article dealing with the railways. The railways has finally got 5 megahertz as spectrum from the union government. The railways has been requesting the union government to provide some megahertz, at least 10 megahertz from the union government, so that it can provide the digital services to the customers and to the people who are utilizing the railway infrastructure. And now the union government has finally approved the usage of 5 megahertz by the Indian Railways. Next we have an article dealing with the report launched by the Election Commission. Election Commission of India yesterday has released a report called as the Contribution Report. Contribution Report. And this report states which all political parties are getting contribution from the people. And according to this report, for the year 2019 to 20, the BJP, that is the Bharatiya Janata Party, has got the highest highest money as donations. And according to the report, the BJP political party has got 750 crores as donation, and the Congress party has got only 130-140 crores as donation. What you need to remember is that it is the BJP or the Bharatiya Janata Party which is getting highest donations at least from last 7 years. Next we have an article which is dealing about newly created national park in the state of Assam. Last week we have seen the creation of Raimona National Park. Raimona National Park in the state of Assam, and this Raimona became the 6th ever National Park of Assam, and now the Assam government has approved Dihang Patkai as the 7th national park in the state of Assam. So we have one state which is having the highest number of national parks in the country. That will be the state of Assam, and the Raimona and Dihang Patkai are new national parks coming under the state of Assam. Next we have an article which is talking about increasing the High Court judges for the Telangana High Court. So we have the Telangana High Court where the number of judges has been increased from 24 to 42. So there is an increase of 18 judges. This is a significant increase in the High Court strength in the country. That means we have nearly 75% increase in the number of sanctioned judges strength for the High Court of Telangana. You should note it down. Next we have an article where the Maldivian president Mr. Soli have stated that he has not taken a decision as of now regarding allowing the Indian consulate in the Addod atoll. So Addod is an atoll in the country of Maldives, and the Indian cabinet has stated that it is planning to start a consulate in the Addod atoll, and the Maldivian Prime Minister did not take any decision as of yet. So as this article is dealing with Maldives, we'll see its capital Male, is the capital of Maldives. Next, we have an article which is dealing with the minimum corporate tax that have to be paid by the corporates all over. Last week we have seen how the G7 countries has come together and agreed on 15% as the global minimum corporate tax that these companies have to pay. And similarly, there is an initiative by the OECD along with the G20 nations. This initiative is called as Inclusive Framework for base erosion and profit shifting. So we can call it as BEPS, that is the BEPS. So we have the OECD and G20 countries coming together to prevent the base erosion and profit shifting. So what is this base erosion and profit shifting? Let's assume that there is company X, and company X generally belong to the country of United States of America, and the company X, if it earns 100 rupees, it might have to pay 23 rupees if the United States has a corporate tax rate of 23%. So what the company X will do is, it will try to shift a portion of its profit to its subsidiary, which may be headquartered in other country. So if country X is sending 50 rupees of the 100 rupees it is earning to a country called as Cayman Islands, then it means the X will only have 50 rupees as profit, because X initially had 100 rupees as profit, but now it is sending 50 rupees profit to another country which might be headquartered in one more country. So why is the company X shifting a part of its profit? It is because this Cayman Islands might only have 1% as a tax rate. That means a country, if it is earning 100 rupees, will only have to pay 1 rupee if it is headquartered here. Whereas if a country is headquartered in United States, it might have to pay 23%. So what we can see is that the companies is sending their money to another country so that its profits can be increased. This is called as base erosion, because the base of United States revenue will be reducing, and profit shifting, because you have seen how the profit is shifted from one country to other country through a same company. So this is the BEPS, or the base erosion and profit shifting. Next, we have an article dealing with the country El Salvador. El Salvador became the first ever country to approve Bitcoin as a legal tender. So we know that there is something called as Bitcoin, which is a cryptocurrency, and it is generally used by many people. But there is no country which has approved this as a legal currency or a legal tender. That means, as this country has approved the Bitcoin as a legal tender, people can pay taxes using the Bitcoin. People can buy property through Bitcoin. People can even pay electricity bill through Bitcoin. So El Salvador, which is a Central American country you can see in this image, has become the first ever country to approve the Bitcoin as an official legal tender. So we'll see the capital of this country. El Salvador's capital is San Salvador. Next, we have an article where the United States of America's president have given a promise that he will supply 500 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine to 100 developing and underdeveloped countries in the next 2 years. And he stated that he will provide nearly 200 million vaccine doses in this year and other 300 million vaccines in the next year. He is stating that by providing free vaccines to 100 countries, they will be able to protect their citizens. So, to protect the citizens of other countries, United States is helping through this initiative. Next, we have an article where the US Senate has passed a bill to combat the China's growing economic influence. So the United States yesterday has passed a bill which became the US Innovation and Competition Act. So after the bill is passed, it has become, next we have an article where the United States of America's President Mr. Joe Biden has announced that the United States will supply 500 million COVID-19 vaccine doses to 100 developing and underdeveloped countries. He has stated that the US have already agreed into an agreement with the Pfizer, which is a COVID-19 manufacturing firm, and he stated that he will provide 200 million vaccines, that is nearly 20 crore COVID-19 vaccine in this year to these 100 developing and developed countries, and he stated that the other 300 million or the other 30 crore COVID-19 vaccine will be provided to these countries in the next year. So by providing these vaccine to these developing and underdeveloped countries, United States is planning to help these underdeveloped countries protect its citizens from this harmful COVID-19 virus. Next we have an article which is dealing with the US Innovation and Competition Act. The United States Innovation and Competition Act. In the last few years, the Chinese industries and the Chinese companies have been blatantly violating the patent rights of many products that have been produced originally by the Western countries, and as a result of this, the Chinese technology companies have developed way forward compared to some Western countries, and the United States now is planning to combat this economic and technical influence of China, and it is planning to do so through the United States Innovation and Competition Act. According to this act, the United States will invest nearly $170 billion in the research and development, of science and technology, so that it can move the country a lot more forward compared to the China. So this is how the United States is planning to combat the Chinese influence when it comes to electronics, technology, science. Next we have an article which is dealing with the livable cities ranking. Every year the Economist Intelligence Unit provides the livable cities ranking, and according to this ranking, the city of Auckland has topped this index. So we have the city of Auckland, which is a city in the country of New Zealand, and this has topped the livable cities index released every year by the Economist Intelligence Unit. Every year the Austrian capital, that is Vienna has been topping this index at least from last 4 years, and this is the first time a non-European country is getting the top ranking in this index. Also we have the country of Japan, which is able to get second ranking in this index. So we have the city of Osaka, which is a city in Japan, it has got second ranking. So these two you should remember, and with this we have come to the end of this session. Inform about Addod's initiative to your other aspirant friends and show us your support by subscribing to our channel. Thank you.
Addod Solutions. Add-on Desires.